Hello, and thank you for listening to Made for More Ministries podcast. And today I want to talk about something deeply personal to me, something that I've experienced time and time again, the law of giving. As much as this concept has helped me, I just want to share a glimpse of this with you and hope that you will even just take 10% of what I might share and apply it to your own life. This is about generosity. It's about tithing, living with an open hand, not a clenched fist. And it's about understanding that when we give freely, joyfully, with faith, we will receive. And it's not just a mindset. It is God's law, period. So a few weeks ago, I was behind on my monthly tithe. Usually I try to do it in the first of the month versus the end of the month. And life got busy. I hadn't prioritized it. And instead of letting guilt creep in, I just turned it into a moment of faith. Let's just get it done. I decided while paying bills to not only give what I had missed for, the previous earlier that month, but go ahead and give for the next one too, since we were so close to the next month. So a double portion. And in that same spirit of giving, I felt led to send a couple of gift cards to people who had recently blessed me in different ways. And I just wanted to just give back. It wasn't about the amount. It was about just the heart behind it. And let me just tell you, within a couple weeks, God showed up. 2 opportunities came out of nowhere for me in my business, total blessings. And to be honest, it's almost funny how it worked out because I could not have orchestrated it if I tried. And it was only God. I looked up and I laughed at this moment, looking up and just laughing with God. I don't know. I assume he's laughing because his laws never change. Our hearts are the ones that need to grow and shift. So this is not about a prosperity gospel. This is about principles. It's about obedience, about trust, knowing that God sees our hearts and he knows what we need even more than we do. So a few verses I just want to touch on to chat about this topic of giving and generosity. Luke 6:38 says, "Give and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." I really hope you can take a moment, even pause and think about this for a second. How give and it will be given unto you, a good measure. What is a good measure? Is it $1,000? Is it an extra week vacation? Is it getting better health and more energy? I mean, it's not about money every time. It could be anything that maybe we feel that we're lacking in our life. Maybe it's relationships in our life. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, poured into our lap. Can you imagine something that you want or God knows you need, and you're getting it just pouring, overflowing into your lap? It's almost humorous to think about, like, how could this be? But these are God's laws. This is what God is telling us he wants to do for us. We just can't sit here and expect a handout. We have to do something out of faith because faith is action in our belief. So if we take action in what we believe, truly believe, that is our faith. And he wants to see good and faithful servants so that when we give, it will be given unto us. It's not just about money either. It's about attitude. It's about faith and trust. The next verse is 2 Corinthians 9:6. "Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously." I always thought that this had to do with money, money, money. And, that's a big part of it because that's probably the hardest part that we all can struggle with. Whether we don't want to give away money, we don't have enough money, we have to have money in order to survive. So it's something that we all think about on a daily basis. However, this might be your time, putting in your time into the church or giving your time helping others out in the community, helping friends. And I'm not saying, you got to take care of yourself first. You have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. But being able to be a generous giver of your time, of your energy, of your spirit, your faith, being able to be a generous giver of all parts of you that Jesus created, not just your checkbook, but also your checkbook. So this verse is saying you reap what you sow. It's not just karma. It is truly a kingdom law. But sometimes people have to call it karma because they don't believe in, God's kingdom law. But it is truly God's law. Just like if you speed, you're maybe going to get a speeding ticket. At least someday you're going to get caught. This is the law. When you do this, it equals this. Give, and it'll be given unto you. Sow generously, reap generously. These are his promises. The next verse, Exodus 23:19. The first of your first fruits you shall bring into the house of the Lord your God. The first 10% is not ours, and it is one of the hardest things for people to grasp. It belongs to God. When we hold on to it like a clenched fist, we're actually withholding what was never ours to begin with. So what we have trained our brain and our family to do is that first 10%, get rid of it. It was never ours to begin with. Get it out of here. Like we need to remove it wherever, and we're trying to be mindful of where we feel God is telling us to put it. But it's with that attitude of we got to get rid of this because we know what the laws are. It's like holding a hostage in our house, like we know it's illegal. Get rid of it. It was never ours to begin with. So it's just so encouraging that we've had that mindset over the years, but it took many years for us to solidify that mindset because it's been many, many years that we have had struggles and challenges where we could really use that other 10%. Like we need the other 10%. And there's once or twice probably in our adult life where we felt like God was saying, hang on to this one. But I promise you 99% of the time, he wants to see your faith letting go. Because if you have a clenched fist, how is he supposed to provide something for you when your fist is clenched and it's not open to receive? Nobody can be given something with a clenched fist. The next verse, Matthew 25:40. Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for me. This is a hard one because it makes you realize that there are people out there we just don't like, we struggle with. Maybe they do awful things and we want to have feelings of hate towards them. But when this says, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters, you did for me, that's telling us that that's how we're treating Jesus. We might treat our family who we love so much in such a good way. I'm treating them as if I were treating Jesus. What about our enemies? I'm not saying you got to be best friends with your enemies, and there are boundaries, but are you treating them with respect as they are a child of God? Every time we love someone well, we are loving Jesus himself. That's why it's not just about money. It's about our time, our attention, our willingness to see people, and how our heart can evolve and change. We can't always control what we receive or when, but we can control the posture of our heart. Giving is not transactional, it is transformational. When we give, we release the control. We say, God, I trust you. And that kind of faith, it moves heaven. So here's the question I want to leave you with today. What's in your hand that you've been holding too tightly? Is it your money, your time, your attention, your energy? And what would it look like this week for you to just give freely, not out of obligation, but out of love and faith? Ask God to show you how and where he wants you to give, and then do it. Trust him with the outcome. Thank you so much for listening today, and I hope this is encouraging, but also challenging for you to accept and receive how God might want to speak to you. And if there is something that's challenging in this message for you, it may be God trying to speak to you to take a step in your journey in faith and add another transformation of your heart. So I am praying for you, and I hope you have a blessed day.